someone in the state is always looking out for us, and that is U.S. Congressman Joe Courtney. Congressman, how are you, sir?
Good, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
I know we got you out of a quick vote there. What did you just go vote on? We got to ask.
It was a procedural vote. We're taking up it's a housing program that the new majority in Congress doesn't like very much, and so, it's one of the skirmishes that's going on there. So it was just a one quick vote, and the debate is going to continue, and,
gotcha.
That comes with the territory.
Gotcha. Now, you wrote this letter. You wrote a letter on behalf of the people in Connecticut who don't have access to cable TV, and you say in your letter that there's 150,000 households without access. I've got to assume, and tell me if I'm wrong, that the number's probably even higher than that for people who, in this economy, have probably had to cut back on cable TV in order to pay for other things.
No question. In fact, that number excludes Fairfield County, which, again, has pockets of unemployed people who are on tight incomes right now. And I know from even within my own family, people who had to kind of tighten their belts over the last few years actually canceled their cable. And have the rabbit ears still at home. So, again, I think it's important to remember this contract this year with NCAA and CBS is a departure from the past. I mean, they always, and I think, people listening on the radio know exactly what I'm talking about, is that, the CBS always switched to the regional game for their viewers. And this year they're not doing that. They're just, awarding exclusivity to TNT and to True TV, even
right.
With these games. So it's a big deal for a lot of people, and we're appealing to CBS because they have obviously the technology and the ability to reverse this decision and do the right thing and let everybody see the game in Connecticut.
Now, have you discussed this with any other fellow congressmen? Because Connecticut won't be the only state affected. I mean, you look at tomorrow night when UConn's playing, you'll have Wisconsin affected, you'll have Florida affected, because everyone on CBS is getting BYU and Wofford, and Florida's going to be on TBS, and Wisconsin's going to be on True TV.
This happened very quickly. We found out about it yesterday, so we just decided to get a letter out ASAP. You're absolutely right. There are a lot of other media markets that I think are going to be affected. A guy across the hall from me is a new member of Congress from Kansas in the Kansas City market. They obviously have two teams, Kansas and Kansas State, in the game, and they are going to get bumped to an exclusive TNT showing. So getting this letter out, which got picked up by AP, less than 45 minutes ago, I think is going to give our office an opportunity to really try and start getting some critical mass, because your question is totally on point, that, at the end of the day, this place operates on just, coalitions and alliances to get people's attention. CBS is a big corporation, and getting more members involved in this, I think, is going to get their attention. I mean, at the end of the day, they're licensed by the FCC, so there is a real connection in terms of the federal government and their business.
U.S. Congressman Joe Courtney joining us on the drive on ESPN Radio. And you bring up the business, and obviously we know it's all about money. They want to drive viewers to TBS, TNT, and True TV. Is there any other remedy other than asking nicely that Congress or anyone else can use here? Well,
we went through this battle a couple of years ago. You may recall NFL Network and Comcast were going through a fight over access to their package, and the Patriots-New York Giants game, the last game of the year, the 16th game of that run by the Patriots, was going to be left out, and it was kind of a game of chicken right up to the 11th hour in terms of them finally blinking and letting that game be shown to people. It was a hell of a game, too, if you recall. I'm a huge Patriots fan, I have to confess to your viewers.
We went through it not too long ago when the Giants-Vikings game that had to be moved to a Tuesday.
Right.
And that became a mess, and people couldn't see the Giants game.
No, that one didn't get resolved.
Right.
So it's, again, a lot of these things come up quickly, and you're not going to get the FCC to issue a decree or an order. But frankly, I think both in the case of the NFL Network a couple of years ago, I mean, they realized because in that case we did get the Massachusetts delegation joining up with us that people have got to who get these exclusive licenses and are part of, really essentially almost a monopoly, have to pay attention when regulators are getting complaints.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's really what we're trying to, really get some traction and start with. And I appreciate you having me on the show because that all helps.
Well, we appreciate you looking out for the people in Connecticut. And let me give you some help. Maybe I figured out where you could get some more help on this.
Okay.
On Friday night, the UNLV-Illinois game is on TBS. I think there's a powerful guy right now who's from Illinois, right?
That's right.
Maybe
and I think
the president
the president of the Senate is from Nevada.
Maybe President Obama could say, "Listen, my people in Chicago won't be able to see it."
Yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you very much. And
Anytime.
And I'm going to get my staff right on it.
Anytime. Now, have you filled out your bracket?
I have.
And now you've seen, I'm sure, President Obama has 4 number ones in the Final Four. Tell me you didn't go all chalk.
No way.
Okay.
I have UConn, getting there. I did have Pitt making it, and I don't have it right on me, but I didn't go all the way with all the ones.
You didn't go all the number ones.
This is a great year, by the way. I mean, it's just so many games that and there's kind of parity. Ohio State, I do think belongs in the Final Four, but I think that other bracket, I apologize, I can't remember who I had for
That's okay. But you're a busy man. We get it.
But it definitely, bled UConn blue. I got a big picture of Kemba Walker right outside my door in the congressional office building. So
well, I'm a little worried because Kemba's on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Uh-oh.
Here comes the jinx.
Don't say that.
Now, Senator, I have one last question. When you wrote this letter to the president of the NCAA and the president of CBS, Les Moonves, did you think maybe you'd get a little faster attention if you signed it sincerely, Charlie Sheen? Maybe he'd pay attention to you.
Yeah, they've got a couple other complaints on their desk there.
Couple issues to deal with.
I will say this: the response that was at least reported in the AP story that it's not a problem because people can watch it online for free.
Horrible.
I mean, that was stunning.
Horrible. And that was for people that don't know, from TBS and from CBS, they said they're not worried about the local fans because they can watch it online. I'm thinking there's a good chance if you don't have cable TV, you may not have internet.
Definitely, totally. I mean, and you know what? I don't know about you. I don't like watching.
No, it's
events
okay
on computer.
It's okay in an emergency if you have nowhere else, if you're traveling around somewhere. But you're not just talking about one person. How about mom, dad, and the 2 or 3 kids? If they do have internet, crowded around one computer to watch the game. That's not a lot of fun. They can't afford $75 to go out to a sports bar and spend the night.
Yep.
And we know it's all about money, and that's why I hope you're successful in getting CBS. What do you think your chances? Have you heard back from them at all yet?
No, to be honest with you, the first response we saw was the AP story in terms of the comment that they gave. So, again, we literally just sent that letter off late last night and released it to the press a few hours ago. So,
what's your next step?
Well, the next step obviously is to start rounding up more members. And you've given me a couple leads, which again we were aware of the Kansas City market, which is really I think going to cause some howls out there.
Mm-hmm.
But
you can go Wisconsin, Florida. Let's see, where else can you go? You can go Purdue. More Illinois. I mean, there's a lot of Illinois situations here going on. So I'm thinking you take it all the way to the top. That's where you got to go.
You're the man.
Congressman, listen, we appreciate you looking out for Connecticut, and thanks for joining us for a few minutes.
Thanks, Bob. Take care.